In this episode, I talked to my good friend Devin, who works at the Vatican in Orange County, California. Devin mainly specializes in fine line florals and animals. His work is delicate but absolutely timeless. This was a particularly special episode for myself, as Devin was one of the first tattoo artists I became friends with. Early in my career, he showed me a lot that I needed to know, and he helped me get better, and I'll forever be grateful for our friendship and his support in those early years. You can find Devin's work on Instagram. It's at Devin Mena Tattoos. And if you're in Orange County and you're looking for a fine line artist, look no further. This is your guy. My name is Jake Berry, and this is The Fine Line. I know you did an apprenticeship and you were in Riverside doing that, but let's start with Laguna.
Okay.
Because that's obviously where you spent the majority of your career.
Yeah, man.
And that's definitely where you kind of established yourself as an artist, made a name for yourself in Orange County, and you started working there. You were doing a lot of traditional work, and at what point and how did you start transitioning into what you started to get known for?
Yeah, so I was raised traditional. That's what I started out with. And I feel like the fundamentals are good to learn first. Solid lines, shading, whatever. And I feel like traditional really trained me for line work. Strong, steady lines, that was really important with traditional. And I still love traditional. It's still fun to do. I still do it once in a while, but it's rare. I mean, all I do is fine line now. But there was a client that came in, and she saw something on Pinterest. Yeah, and it was this tiny little camera, and I was like, "There's no fucking way I can pull that off. It's so tiny." And traditional guys are like, "No, I won't do it that small." And I was like, "You know what? Let's try it." And so I had to buy a pack of single needles the first time. I didn't have any. That wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And so I bought it, tried it out, did this little camera. It was the size of a dime, like a camera, old school camera. And it came out decent, and I was proud of it. And it took fucking forever. and I posted it, and then after that, man, everybody just started kind of coming to me for fine line stuff. I did a bee on this girl's finger after that camera. And she was some Pinterest, or no, Tumblr. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, she was a Tumblr girl, famous Tumblr girl, and I did a bee on her finger, and she posted it, and then everybody started coming to me for little tiny bees, fine line stuff, and then it just went
And
wild.
What was that like for you being surrounded by traditional artists?
Oh man, they hated me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
You took a lot of shit.
Big time, man. They gave me so much shit, every day. It
really?
Was why are you doing that? Do a real tattoo. These are temporary tattoos. Yeah. Until, clients started coming back and getting more, and, they'd see them healed, and they're like, wow, that actually stayed. That's not bad. Yeah. And that kind of shut them up. But, yeah, I mean, for a long time, they were just like, no, this is not how you do it. What are you doing?
And, because I think that you were, the first guy in Orange County doing fine line tattooing.
Yeah, man, I caught it early.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my memory of it.
Yeah.
So, and maybe there's someone out there that would want to correct us on that.
Yeah, for sure there is.
We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
Was there any part of you at the time that was yeah, maybe I should not do, maybe I shouldn't do this? Or were you just kind of
Dude, I was kind of so, yeah, old school guys are just sit down, shut up, pay me, know. But I was always taught that sometimes the experience is more important. If they had a good time getting it, then they're gonna tell their friends and they're gonna come back. And I kind of ran with that. I'm hey man, this is what they want. I'll do my best to knock it out of the park, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, man, I thought about it for a while, and I was do I want to chase this, or do I want to just go back to traditional? But I just kept getting more and more requests, and I was I like doing it. I think it looks cool. If the client's happy, then fuck it. Yeah. I was going that route.
And I remember seeing a newspaper article about you that said Devin Mena has no problem doing girly tattoos.
Man. Yeah, that fucking OC Weekly interview. So that's when, like, yeah, that's when I started doing fine line, and then I kind of got, like, noticed for it. And back then, there wasn't that many fine line tattooers. Like, I mean, aside from, like, prison, but but, like, back then in Orange County, like, I was the fucking guy. And now there's like a sea of them, so it's like hard to get noticed. And
then came along this douchebag doing it out of his house. Dude, like, who's this guy?
Is this your first interview with somebody that you are dating? No. like a friend that you know?
It is actually, yeah.
Yeah, like I was telling you, every time you come to guest spot at the Vatican, they're always like, "Oh, your boyfriend's coming to guest spot. Like, these are the dates." And I'm like, "Oh, stop it, guys." I get all blushy. But yeah, man, this is like the first friend interview kind of.
It is, yeah. And it's like, I like it because, like, yeah. So my background was I started in my bedroom, didn't really know what I was doing, and did that for like a year and a half, until I was like, "Oh, I want to get serious." And any tattoo artist I met that knew I was tattooing was an asshole.
Yeah.
They were such a jerk to me.
Yeah.
And you were the only nice guy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, but no, seriously, like, you were the first artist that I met that was like, "Oh, like, your work's cool. Like, and you should do something like this, and you should, like, use this."
Yeah, we were Instagram buddies.
Yeah.
But we had so many of the same clientele. Like, a lot of the clients that I tattooed would show up to my shop and be like,
yeah.
I'd be like, "Oh, who did that? That's awesome." And it was always Janky Jake. And I was like, "No way. Like, who is this guy?"
Yeah. Cool.
And then, I'd see you on Instagram. I'm like, "You know what? Like, let's just follow this guy." Like, and then I was like, "What shop does he work at?" And they're like, "Nah, he just does it like at the studio." And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy."
Yeah. No, like, you know, you were cool about it. You were cool, and like, that changed everything. And I went into, because the first time we met in person, I was doing a guest spot with you guys.
That was your first guest spot, yeah?
At Laguna Tattoo.
Yeah.
That was my first time
being in a shop.
Yeah. And I was shitting it.
Dude, you faked it so good.
No, I walked in and I was like, "Okay, just pretend." And I was like watching everything you guys were doing. When you were setting up your station, I was like, "What? Like, why are they doing?"
The corner?
Yeah. So I was like really insecure.
No
but
way, man.
But it worked out, and like, you know, it was cool. It was a great experience for me, and I learned so much. Like, in that 6 months from like doing that guest spot, and like, you know, 6 months after or whatever, I probably did 2 guest spots within that 6 months with you guys.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Like, everything changed for me.
Dude, same with me. Like, once I made the trip from, you know, Inland Empire to Orange County, like, I started working around these guys. Like, you know, Steve gave me a chance at Laguna Tattoo, Steve Crum, and Brother Greg was there, and Brian Taylor and Lindsay Carmichael. Like, they were like real tattooers to me. Like, they were like heavy hitters. Like, they just no bullshit. And I felt like I had to step it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, man, I gotta get to work. And once I started working there, it was like night and day. It just changed everything.
There's definitely something to be said about being around tattoo artists.
Yeah.
That elevates your game.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt, especially if they're like better than you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Big time.
And like, you don't even have to be talking to them about tattooing.
Yeah.
I think it's just like, there's this like unspoken energy or something that's like, maybe it's even just pressure you put on yourself because you're like, oh, they're around.
Yeah.
That just elevates you to that next level. You don't get like, you know, you don't get complacent.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's something good about being around other tattoo artists that I didn't see the benefit of that until like that. I came to you guys and started like working around you and then some other artists that like, I would walk away from that guest spot or whatever I was doing. I'd be like, why do I feel like I got better?
Yeah.
Because they didn't like, I would go to some places, like they didn't show me anything.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I got better. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. There's like a magic thing, but like even just watching their approach to things, like how they talk to clients and like how they draw or how they prepare for a tattoo. Just being around it and watching, even if they're not telling you anything, like just noticing it, I'm like, man, I would like to apply that to how I do things. Or like little bits of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
But Okay, so let's like fast forward then a little bit. You were riding that wave at Laguna Tattoo for a while.
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's a long time, man.
And it was good.
Yeah.
But there came a point where maybe like there was a community here at the Vatican that started to kind of fit more of the direction that you were starting to take as an artist.
Yeah.
Would that be a good way to put it?
There was a few reasons why I left. I mean, 10 years is a long time anywhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, like it all just kind of fell into place. Like I got the offer for Vatican Studios in Orange County. But, yeah, so I got the offer to come here. Like I did a guest spot first for a week just so they can fill me out.
Yeah.
And then it was like a second interview, so I came back again for another week just to like I had to meet everybody and like mingle with everybody, see if it was a fit.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing fit. And like I was like with Laguna, like once I came here, there's so many amazing artists here. There's like it's a huge shop, so there's like 10 artists here.
Yeah.
And each one of them specializes in a different style. And I'll go around from like room to room and like see what they're doing or like ask them questions, and like I picked up so much stuff.
Yeah.
And there's also that pressure, like once you're here, like you have to like measure up.
Right.
You have to step it up. Otherwise, like you don't belong.
Right.
Kind of.
Right.
But since I started working here, it's been amazing, man. Like they were like, you can have your own room, you can decorate it how you want. Because like at Laguna Tattoo, it's like a bullpen style tattoo shop, and you know, loud music and like everybody's talking to everybody.
It's close.
This
it's tight.
Vatican is a bit more of an experience.
Right.
Like it's like a tattoo spa, I like to say. Like, you know, there's a giant fish tank and then waterfall and like coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
And you get greeted by a receptionist, and like it's way different than what I'm used to, but it was like it's definitely different. But then it's like a appointment only kind of experience as opposed to like a walk-in shop.
Right.
So like yeah, you come in, you have your private room, you shut the door. It's like an intimate thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I liked about it a lot.
Yeah.
Once I left Laguna, I was like, man, I'm gonna take such a hit on my clientele. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
Luckily, most of my clients followed, and I was like, I didn't understand that because I was like, I've never had the switch before.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before too. Like, I have that fear of like,
I know.
every time I open my books, I get scared like that people won't want to get tattooed by me anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that are amazing. And I feel like every time I go on Instagram, I see someone new that's amazing.
Yeah.
Which really bums me out. And I'm like, I'm going to start looking for a new job. But it kind of makes me push harder. But yeah, every time I open my books, I'm like, I have this little fear in the back of my head. Like, what if nobody books?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Like, this is my whole life.
Yeah. I think that's normal. I think it's like...
Do you have that?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, I mean, my fear is that one day, like, people just won't want... They're just like, I'm over it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and like, which is super irrational. It's like totally not logical.
It usually works out.
Well, there's no reason to believe that would happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Other than like, I guess things change, but
yeah, I feel like it's getting more popular if anything.
Of course, yeah, and like, there's so many people in the world that want tattoos, like,
especially for fine line stuff. Like,
exactly.
Like,
but
they see that a tattoo can be done like that, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know a tattoo could look like that." I met my ex-girlfriend's parents for the first time, who were like super strict religious people, and they saw a picture of me like covered in tattoos, and they were like, oh my god, like he's a drug dealer or whatever, so they automatically didn't like me. I went over there and I met them for the first time, and I tattooed her cousin like a little bee or something, cool, like a flower on her arm, so the parents had a chance to like look and watch me do it, and then they were amazed. They were like, oh my god, like we didn't know it could look like that. Like, we see tattoos like, you know, demons or whatever. And I ended up tattooing both of them.
No way.
Both the parents. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
First tattoos.
That's
and
so
now
funny.
The dad's like, I want to get this and I want to get that. But they got religious tattoos, of course, but it was like such a cool experience to give them their first experience with like a tattoo, and there wasn't a like negative one. They're just like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I didn't know, like, I kind of changed their idea about tattoos a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Well, like, okay, so this is a couple things, right? The luxury of being able to choose to work where you work and to have it be this way that you have it, okay?
Yeah.
I feel like comes from marketing yourself with the tools that we have available as tattoo artists, right?
Social media and stuff.
Social media.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass, and everyone knows that.
It's a full-time job.
It is. And, but that's literally like, when people ask me, like, you know, okay, one, you have to be good, right? Be good at tattooing. But then again, and I've had this conversation with my wife where it's like, she argues.
Amazing.
What?
I met Claire for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love her. I get why you moved to Ireland now.
Yeah. Yeah, I love her too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she is amazing. And yeah, that's right. And we started talking about all this stuff.
You guys are a
And
good partner.
Yeah, dude, we're definitely like a team, which is amazing to have.
Yeah.
And dangerous
Yeah.
to your relationship.
Oh, man, I can't imagine, man.
Yeah.
I've had exes be like, "Let me handle your bookings. Like, I'll do your emails."
You're like, no.
This could go bad.
Yeah, it is. It's dicey, you know,
Yeah.
and not every couple can do that. But
There's no way.
we make it happen. And but like the thing is, it's when people ask, and okay, so going back to my conversation with Claire, how her argument is you actually don't need to be good at tattooing.
I don't want to talk shit on other artists.
Right.
I don't know who your listeners are, but
Go for it.
am I allowed to say names? No, I don't want to say names. Bleep it out. There was this reel on Instagram of like this person that was like posting like top 10 artists in California.
Right.
And there was a certain artist in there, and I was like, there's no way. Like, why is he even on the list? Like,
Right.
he was on the list with Troshin that works here.
Okay.
And Troshin's like, amazing tattooer to me. Like,
Yeah.
I really look up to him.
Yeah.
And there was this other guy who, like, does worse tattoos than me, and I feel like it's just, he has a big social media presence.
Of course.
Tattoos a lot of, like, YouTubers and
Right.
influencers and whatever. But his marketing and his
Right.
social media is up there, so...
Yeah.
He's one of the best tattooers in California.
So that's her point. That's her point. Is like it's sad, and it's not limited to tattoo industry, by the way.
Yeah.
This applies everywhere.
Yeah.
But people that find their lane and they start just going,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The quality doesn't matter,
It's such
which
a
is
bummer.
very depressing.
Yeah.
But like my point in that, okay, in saying this is that the quality. Okay, no, sorry. My point in saying this is that marketing is the most important thing. Like, obviously, I believe, and this is like because I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I believe that you need to have good tattoos just for the sake of like being proud of your work,
Yeah, no,
right?
dude.
But like, if you can take that same mentality that these artists that they're pushing as hard as they are, like the people that are good, and if they pushed that hard with that social media presence, it's like game over.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a no-brainer. Of course they're going to be successful, you know? So what am I trying to say?
What are we getting at here?
My point is that it's like, so that is the ticket. That is the key to having freedom as a tattoo artist, to have creative liberty, to have to have higher prices. All of it, like, is just branding yourself to the public.
I have such an issue with it, man. Like, I mean, I post and I try to keep up with content and I take videos. Like, I just started recently, like, taking videos of everything. Like, stencil laying or, like, my setup. Like, just stuff that I would never film.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is what the people want to see. And I hate it. And I'm like, I have to do it because I have to keep up. Like, I have to keep up with everybody. But, like, I'll post... I post on my story a lot.
Yeah.
Like, and it's only 24 hours.
Yeah.
And, like, I'll get reactions or whatever, but... Back in the day, I would only do posts because stories weren't a thing.
Yeah.
And it would be up there forever, and then it would be like people commenting on it and sharing it or whatever. But I don't do that as much anymore, and I'm like, I need to start doing that more, because like, it's temporary, the stories, and then people can never see it again.
Yeah.
And that I started thinking about that, but also when I do posts, I don't even put captions because I'm like, I think this is a good tattoo. Like, maybe you will.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't need to put hashtags, but like, then I'm like, should I put hashtags? Like, will that get more noticed? Or like, there's that whole game that I just hate playing, and I'm like, I think the work should speak for itself, but that's not the case.
I know. Well, in a perfect world, it would.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, we're living in this crazy online digital world that everyone lives on, and it's like it's sink or swim out there. Dude, it's crazy.
There's like, back in the day, my biggest goal was first to work in Laguna. Like, I really wanted to work in Laguna at Laguna Tattoo. Like, that was my shop that I really wanted to work at.
Yeah.
That was my goal. I achieved that. And then my next goal was to live in Laguna, and I did that. And then my goal was to get in a tattoo magazine. Like, that was my biggest thing. I was like, I have made it if I made it into a tattoo magazine.
Yeah.
That's not even a thing anymore. Like,
No.
yeah, that goal went away pretty quick, because now it's like, it's easy to get noticed back in the day because the world was smaller, and now social media is a thing, and like, it's impossible to get noticed in a sea of great tattooers unless you're doing the game. Yeah. Unless you're playing, and like.
So what are your goals now?
I just want to get better, man. Like, especially working here with these people, like, I just want to be better. Like, my New Year's resolution was like, draw more, paint more. Yeah. Like, I did Dmitry Troshin's seminar.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 days, and he goes through everything with you. He goes through like photographs, taking the picture, like the process, the whole like stencil, like how to map it out. And,
did you find it helpful?
Oh my God, man! Like,
really,
it was exhausting mentally. Like, I was beat.
Really?
Yeah. And then we do an actual tattoo on a fake, silicone. Yeah. And he has the camera zoomed in on what he's doing, and he has you follow him line for line. Wow. So he'll be like, I'm going to show you this little chunk here. You do the exact same thing I do. Wow. And I was doing it, and like, I was trying to keep up, and I'm like, man, I don't know shit. Because like, his style is completely different than mine. And I was trying something new, and like, I wanted to like, see if it applied to what I do. And it does. Like, I find myself approaching tattoos differently, or thinking more about how I shade something. Right. Or like the cast shadow. Like, before I would just like, I would try to get through it and hope for the best. And that's terrible to think of, but like, I took the seminar, I'm like, man, I need to think about every little detail. Wow. And yeah, the seminar was great.
That's crazy. That's saying a lot coming from someone who's been tattooing for 15 plus years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Right? Yeah. 14. Yeah, okay. 15, I think now. Yeah. Dude. And even then afterwards, I was like, I don't know anything. Like, wow. Yeah. I still feel like I don't know shit.
Well, you obviously do.
Dude, I'm like skating by.
Yeah. So what style do you think you would want to like take on next? Because I know you. So for those of you who are not familiar with Devin's work, go check him out. It's at Devin Mena Tattoos. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's a lot of floral and a lot of like fine line, but also like cat portraits, like pet portraits.
Dude, yeah.
Small stuff like that. But you definitely made a name for yourself in the floral.
Yeah, I'd say
style.
I'd say like botanical, floral, fine line. Like, I love doing a good cat portrait, animal portrait. I want to do people. I don't know how the fuck you do it. Like, I see your stencils, and I'm like, how?
Oh, really?
Dude, because I know you do the stencils like, like it's an actual photo. Like, it looks like the tattoo's finished when you put the stencil on.
No, I use an app that gets a stencil. It does have a lot of the information. Dude, of a photo.
I need structure, because I think that's my traditional side.
Yeah.
You need a map. I need a map. Yeah. And like, I see other artists using the same method, and I'm like, how? Like, I don't get it. And then it's like, I see the messy stencil, and I'm like, there's no way they're gonna nail this. And then they fucking nail it. Like, I see yours, and I'm like, that's insane. How did he get that out of that? It's crazy.
I'll show you what I use. I know I showed you.
Is it an app? Oh yeah. Is it
Pixar?
Pixar. Yeah. There's another artist, London Reese. He just came out with a tattoo one. I think it's like Ghostline.
Yeah, that's not the first tattoo one that I've seen.
I like that one. I started
Have
using
you tried it.
Yeah, I started using it for certain things. I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, I use different stuff, but I like it. It's cool. There's a lot of options to like edit stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, man. So what the fuck were we talking about?
Yeah. What style? What do you think you'd want to take on next?
So, I was talking about this with someone the other day. Like, what happens if fine line tattoos go out of style? Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people have backed themselves into a corner. Like, they can only do that style. Mm-hmm. And when I started, I was like, I want to do multiple styles. Like, I'll mess with Japanese. I'll put my twist on it. And then, like, traditional I like doing. But I feel like a lot of it's relatable. And I would love... If fine line went out, I would love to start doing like neo-traditional.
Really?
Yeah, like Justin Hartman is a big inspiration. Chris Prim, like those guys, and
that's crazy.
There's this Lord Lips. I don't know his real name. I think his name's Lars or something like that, but he's Europe. But Eckel. Do you know that guy too?
I don't
Eckel?
think so. Maybe I do.
Anyways, those guys, I would love to tattoo like that. It's like big areas and like a lot of girl heads and girl faces and stuff.
Yeah.
But I would love to tattoo like that, but if it were up to me and like fine line was like still going strong, I would do like, yeah, I have like this flash so with scheduling, let's go there. Since we talked last, I started being more picky about my scheduling.
Yeah.
Because before I would just be like, yeah, I'll do whatever.
Right.
And you told me about your submission form thing. It's not like a guaranteed thing, but it's like you might get it.
Yeah.
And now my recent booking, I'm like not saying yes to everything. I'm like picky about what I do, which I'm lucky to be able to do.
Yeah.
Because I have the clientele apparently, and I'll say no to a few things. I'm like I wouldn't have fun with that. Like I wouldn't like doing that. And before I would just be like, yeah, totally, why not? Like,
yeah.
And it's just like a paycheck. Like it's like something for work, but then it becomes work.
Right.
And before, 14 years, man, I feel like I'm getting kind of burnt out. Like
right.
I wake up and I'm like, oh man, I got to do this tattoo today. Like it feels like work, and it never used to feel like work.
Right.
And so I'm a bit more picky now because I want it to be fun. And yeah, so now I don't say yes to everything, and then like I'm leaning more towards stuff that I want to do. But what I'm getting at is like 1 day a week I block off. Every Friday I do my day. It's Devin Day.
Nice. Yeah.
And I'll post something like a flashy and be like, hey, if anybody wants to get this, you won't have to wait the months or whatever it is till my next open date. You can get it this Friday.
Oh yeah.
But it's what I want to do.
Right.
And it's like my day.
And how's that going?
I just started, so I've done like two Fridays.
Cool.
And yeah, it's so nice. Like I look forward to Fridays now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is gonna be an awesome day. Like,
yes.
And I get excited about tattooing again, which is like kind of fresh, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but like I have this flash, like it's kind of what my style is now, like what I post, because I post what I want to do more of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like swords and butterflies and flowers, but like a little different than what I usually do.
Yeah.
Because I want to progress. I don't want to be stuck.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been stuck for a while.
Well, like, do you think that? This is what I always find is that like the more that you do the stuff that you want to do, the more you're going to get people wanting that stuff.
Yeah.
So then eventually you just filter out all the other projects.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That of what you don't want to do. Because like most tattoo artists have days where they're doing tattoos that they don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
But like maybe not. I mean, obviously there are probably a lot of artists that you see online now.
Yeah.
They might not be doing tattoos that are drastically out of their style. Like for example, I'm not going to do a big tribal back piece, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So or a big Japanese back piece.
I would love to see you do that.
I mean, I'd crush it. But
I know you would, man. All single Neil.
Yeah. No, but like, so like, you know, I know a lot of artists now probably have the luxury of being able to be like, oh, this is more not my style and this is my style. But that being said, even things that are in my style, I have days where I'm like, I don't want to do it, even though it's in my style. I don't really care for this piece.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you have those days.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think every artist can relate to that, where there's days that you show up to work and it feels more like work.
Do you post them just to post?
No, I don't. No. I mean, like, no. I'm very selective with what I post. And the reason is not because I'm not proud of what I did.
Yeah.
Because every tattoo I do, I am doing it with, like, because whatever about Instagram, I know that person's going to be walking around with it and people are going to see it.
Yeah.
And if people see it and it's a little bit different and unique, they're going to ask about it.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? When people have a cool tattoo or it's maybe slightly different, they're always like, oh, that people are always asking me about that one, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I
Okay. So
I never get that. Just kidding.
But like, so even just for that reason alone, I'm like, I want that tattoo to look absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
So it's never to do with like how I feel about the tattoo.
Yeah.
To me, it's all about like, does this fit the image I'm trying to portray? to the public.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in what I post too, but sometimes I'm just like, hey, I haven't posted in a while. Like, I got to put something up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, to me, it is your portfolio.
Yeah.
Right. So that's your portfolio.
Yeah.
And like, this is the stuff I want to be known for. Okay. Like, that's what I'm going to put out there.
Yeah.
And so not everything fits that, you know?
Dude, sometimes I'm like, most times I'm like not happy with my tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, it's maybe like 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5, I'm like, I like that one. Like,
yeah.
But
do you not, like, that's you being critical of yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, I get that. Like, just
like, if you saw someone else do it, would you be like, that's a shitty tattoo?
No, yeah, I'd be like, oh, that's good. Or,
yeah.
It looks like mine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I get
so
that.
of course, we're our biggest critics.
Yeah. And like, I'm sure everybody does this, but like, I'll zoom in and like look at certain things, like, fuck, I should have done that different, or like, but I feel like that's how it should be. I don't like these artists that are like posting and like, killed this one, like crushed this, I nailed it. I just like, I feel like you have to judge it, otherwise
how are you gonna grow?
Like, you can't grow if you think you know everything,
right?
And yeah, we know a few people like that. But yeah, man, I feel like you should not be happy a little bit. Like, there's a little bit that you should be, but like most of it should be like, no, I want to be better.
Yeah it's good to be proud. But like, I think the thing is always like, when you get home after a long, and then you look at the photo, and you're like, whoa, is that what I did?
Yeah,
you know?
Dude, there's people that come in and like, I'll see healed, and I'm like, I fucking did that. And it's like, great, and I'm like, I want to take a picture of that, man. I didn't know it was that good, because like, it's different when it's healed, obviously. But
yeah, but so every once in a while I'll do this thing where if I'm getting towards the end of the tattoo, I'll take a picture with my phone.
It looks different on the phone, right?
Yeah, and I'll walk away, and I'll maybe like have a cup of coffee, and then I'll go back to my phone, and I won't look at the tattoo on the skin. I'll look at my phone. Yeah. Because I'm like, whoa, like, I just saw 3 things that for some reason,
dude,
slipped my, you know what I mean?
Me and Mondo works here. I was talking to him about it, and he'll do the same thing. Like, he'll take a picture of it before he finishes. Yeah. Because sometimes you're too deep into it.
You are.
You're in there, and like, you don't notice things.
You lose perspective.
Yeah, and like, it looks different through a lens, and like, the polarizer or whatever, so you don't see pieces that you missed or like didn't fill in solid.
For sure.
And he does that, and he was like, yeah, that's what I do. And like, I'm like, I'm gonna start doing that, man. Like,
dude, yeah.
I'm start tattooing through a phone.
I know, yeah.
It's just watch the phone.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, so I started doing that too, which like, it makes it way more like consistent, like saturated.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're too deep.
Yeah, you are. I mean, so... But I have like, we were talking about Claire earlier, and like, I'm very grateful to have this, because she's a very black and white person, right? She's a very like straight up. Yeah. She'll just tell you how it is.
I'm sure you've had it too, like where you'll date people while you're tattooing, and they'll be like, oh, it's amazing, and I'm like, it's not. Like, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And they'll hype you up, which is like awesome. Like, they're your cheerleader or whatever.
Like, thanks, but you don't know anything.
Yeah. Get the fuck out. No, like, I've dated girls where they're like, no, it looks perfect. And I'm like, hey, you know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
And like, I was on a date, and I was like talking to this girl, and she's like, do you have imposter syndrome? Because I feel like sometimes I do. Like, I shouldn't be having all this. Like,
yeah. Dude, I mean, imposter syndrome is normal. I think, especially take tattooing out of the equation, but just anyone who I think is more artistic, like, it's so natural to just doubt whatever you're doing.
Yeah, so in Troshin's seminar, he would have everybody in the class send their best 2 photos. Like, you can do your favorite tattoo and your worst tattoo, or you can do 2 of your favorite tattoos. But you would submit them, airdrop them to him in the class, and then he has like a giant screen behind him, so he would like blow it up behind him, and then he would zoom in on things, and it was brutal. Yeah. It's like every artist's worst nightmare. Like, don't zoom. Like, when Instagram started doing the zoom thing, I'm like, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
But not that they're not good or whatever, but so he would have you do that and just critique it and like give you you should have done this darker, or like, your line work didn't need to be there, and you could have just gray lined it, and just stuff like that. But he doesn't rip you apart. He's just like helpful.
It's constructive.
Very constructive.
So like, yeah, I feel like that's good. I think that, like I said earlier, being around other tattoo artists elevates your game.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of like, I was even thinking about like even just starting like a group chat with a few artists.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And yeah, exactly, right? And then you just send in your work and you're like it's not like, good job, man. That's not what it's for. It's like, all right, guys, like tell me how to be better.
Everybody on social media tries to be positive, and
Right.
it's either one or the other. Like they're super positive and supportive, or they're haters,
Right.
or like trolls or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it'd be beneficial to have a core group of artists that you trust, right? So not just people that are just like going to tear you apart. That's why I think it'd be cool to do something like that social media thing, but you get to select who's in your circle.
There's only a couple tattooers that I know that are real about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I show them a piece or like vice versa. But Nakota, she used to work here.
Yeah.
She works at Black Lantern now in Dana Point. Put her Instagram up right there. We'll be right back. No, Nakota, she's a very close friend of mine. And she does amazing color work, and like she's very blunt. And like
Yeah.
I would show her a tattoo that I'm like very proud of. And she would either be like, oh, yeah, that's good. Like, not very. She's never been really enthusiastic, maybe like once in a while,
Yeah.
about a piece that I've done. But she's like, she'll rip it apart and be like,
Wow.
no, you should have done this different.
Yeah.
Or I would have done this different. But she's a great artist. And yeah, she knows what she's talking about. So I trust her. And
But you respect that feedback.
yeah, I mean, I think I like that better than, yeah, someone would be like, that looks amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe we should make a social media of people that just hate on tattoos.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, where it's like, it's only there for constructive feedback.
Yeah.
Which I think would be really cool, because I want to get better.
Yeah.
You want to get better.
Yeah.
But you have to have like people that know what they're talking about. One.
It's like you don't get better if you think you know everything.
Yeah.
It always comes down to that.
Yeah.
So you should have people that are just like,
I know.
you fucking suck.
Yeah,
Like, get
okay.
better.
Someone do that.
But
someone who's listening, please make that.
yeah, someone with some backing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, someone that you trust though, or someone that like, because there's people that are worse than you on social media that are like, you suck, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't care what you
Yeah,
think.
I don't respect your
Right.
opinion. Yeah, it's got to be like a great tattooer.
I had this this video on Instagram like blow up, and it was because it had some sort of like, it was like kind of controversial. Like, I don't like to play into that too much, you know, where people like, I think people know that Instagram likes controversy.
I love it.
Yeah, so Instagram like favors negativity, or when people are like arguing on comments, like,
Yeah,
and
for
that
sure.
just blows up, right?
Yeah,
So I try not to like get into that. I don't like that.
yeah,
But I did post this one video, and it was kind of like mocking, like it was kind of like for anyone who was wondering how those kind of quote unquote tattoos heal. And it was like a bunch of healed work.
yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I think I saw this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I was kind of like poking at the fire a little bit.
yeah.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
Yeah,
And of course, that's the one that got like, you know, a couple million plays.
of
And it
course.
got circulated.
Yeah.
But the amount of hate that I got from that video, like, oh my god, people are so nasty. Like, they'll just come on and comment, and it doesn't affect me, like, thankfully, because, and like, if it was an artist that I follow, you know what I mean, that I looked up to, and they commented something,
Yeah,
then I would be like, okay, that hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
these,
yeah.
I'd like, for these people, and then you click on their profile, and you're like, oh, you're just like,
yeah. Nobody.
yeah, and also your tattoos that you're doing suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't care.
Have you ever? I've had a few like people that I've met, like heavy hitter tattooers that like started following me, and then unfollowed me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's happened to me.
Oh man, it hurts so much.
Dude, that's like tactic.
Yeah.
You know, like they do that to try to get you to follow them back.
You think so?
Well, it depends on like what the time frame was. Was it like a right away thing they unfollowed you?
I think
Or-
I was like, oh, I wonder if I haven't seen them like something in a while or view something. So
Oh.
like I'll look and I'm like, oh, they don't follow me
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that's weird. So okay, one of two things. They might not know that happened,
Mm.
because I've heard of people where they just all of a sudden aren't following a ton of people.
They're lying to you.
Maybe.
They're covering their ass.
No,
man.
but that's
They're
happened
lying.
to me, I think, where I'm like, wait, what? Why don't I see that person's? And it was like someone like, not even a tattoo artist. It was like a friend of mine.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
why don't I see their posts anymore? And then
They
I'm
give you
like,
the
my
excuse
phone.
like, I got hacked, man. They only
Right,
unfollowed
right.
you.
Yeah. No, but it definitely has happened to me, and
Dude,
it does hurt.
I've had some like top names in the game unfollow me, and I'm like, what did I do?
I know, yeah.
Like, what did I post that you didn't like?
Yeah, enough to go into my profile
Yeah,
and hit unfollow.
so much work.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, man.
But there's also like buttons, like, you know, when you're scrolling, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I'm just-
There's been times where I'm like scrolling through the reels,
Yeah.
and I'll start following somebody on accident. I'm like,
Right.
what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Or when you're going through your own followers, and then you accidentally hit follow as you're scrolling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's a lot of that.
Anyways, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like our work. Devin.
Yeah, man. I'm quitting. I'm quitting tattooing.
But that's not why I unfollowed you. Just so you know.
There was this one time that I was like, man, as like a gimmick, like I'm gonna post that I'm done tattooing.
Right.
Like, this is my last month. Get in while you can.
Okay, yeah.
And then, you know, get a line or whatever, and then then the next month be like, just kidding. And it's like, I was just joshing like April Fools, you know.
Yeah.
I never did it because I feel like it's a dick move.
It's kind of people panicking, like,
Yeah. I'm like, $1,000 minimum.
yeah, I'm taking out a loan.
Yeah, man. What's crazy is that some people might.
Was that the last tattoo you got? Is your neck tattoo?
Yeah, that was the last one.
And like, do you have any desire to get tattooed right now? Or are you just like over getting tattooed?
I mean, I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't mind.
I'm running out of space.
I know, man. I have my whole back open. Like,
Oh, okay.
I have a tramp stamp.
So,
I have a tramp stamp from when I was 18.
so what would you want to do with your back?
I would love to save it for, you know, one of those artists I named, like Justin Hartman or Chris
Yeah.
Prim, like those guys. Like, I would love to do a big neo-traditional something on my back. I don't know what yet,
Yeah.
and I feel like I got to work out.
Do you think you would actually do that and put yourself through that?
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, motivation's kind of hard, but and money, and like there's a lot of and time. Like,
Just the pain sounds horrible.
yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm such a wuss, though.
dude. I think about that all the time. Like, is it worth it? Like, I would love to have my back done because I have most of my body done. Like,
Yeah.
my front's done. Like, yeah, arms, legs, but my back is open, and I feel like embarrassed when I take my shirt off at the beach or something.
yeah.
Because I just have the tramp stamp.
You're like, don't
And-
look.
Yeah. Or I'll wear like a fucking like a rash guard. But when I take my shirt off, I have this tramp stamp on my lower back, and it's just the word tattoo.
No.
Really
Can I see
big.
it?
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
It's really big. But I got it when I was 18.
Oh my god, tattoo.
Dude. So stupid. And I was
Oh
like,
my God.
when I got it, I was like, tattooing's life. Like, I want it really big on my lower back. And every time I take my shirt off, I'm like, I have to explain.
That is so funny. Tattoo.
Yeah, dude. So when I do
That's
my
a
back,
big, that's a big one. As
it's
well.
big, man. And I'm like, I want to cover it.
Yeah.
I want to cover it so bad.
It's
So like,
pretty cool though.
I fucking hate it. I hate it. I have
It's funny. Yeah.
You don't have any bad tattoos?
Well,
huh?
mine, I have some tattoos that aren't well done,
Yeah.
but they're cool. I like them.
Yeah. I
You
mean, it's
know?
memories,
I
right?
don't have any like tattoos that I wish I didn't get.
Dude, I have so
Yet.
many. I have so
Yet.
many. Yeah.
But I'm like, I kind of like having bad tattoos in the way of like, I let my wife tattoo me. I let
What did she do on you?
she did this. It says I love you.
Oh, yeah, I remember
It's
that.
very cute.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Did it hurt?
Like if there was like people here, they'd be like, "Aw."
Oh.
Yeah.
Insert crowd noises.
Yeah. Exactly. And then my dad tattooed me.
Yeah, I remember that.
I showed you that one, yeah.
The toy, right?
Yeah, he did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
I was actually annoyed by that.
Then he could just pick it up.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
Dude,
just be bad.
yeah, man. Yeah, I've had that too. I've had people that ask me for apprenticeships, like, you know, you get it all the time,
Yeah.
and they've never drawn in their life.
Right.
Do you get that?
Okay, so here's where, like, yes, I definitely think that you have to draw.
Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta have some sort of artistic talent.
But like, dude, you know that guy Adam Dean
Yeah,
Art
yeah.
in New York.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't start drawing until he started tattooing. Pretty much.
Fucking insane.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. So he just went out and bought an iPad. I think that, okay, so I'm probably butchering this story. Sorry, but
Does that make you mad a little?
well, I'm like, dude, you're obviously just extremely talented and
Just naturally.
just naturally good at that. You know what I mean? Which is insane.
Yeah.
But he's like ridiculous. Have you seen his like fake skin pieces?
Yeah, man. I mean, if I get mad, I think it's just jealousy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I know. And I'm like, what? Like, how?
Fake skin shit too. Like, I want to start doing that. Like, Alex Sorsa works
It's so
here.
fun, isn't it?
Have you seen Alex Sorsa
Yeah.
stuff? Yeah. He has like he sells these prints, and it's just like all on silicone and
I know.
insane.
Yeah. And it's such a cool medium, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can do really cool pieces.
Yeah.
Because you get all those like really fine details that you would in a tattoo, but like way more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to do it as well, but it's like a matter of just, I don't know, it's another thing to give time to, isn't
We sell them here.
it? Well, that's cool. Okay, so just give me a quick, like, this has been really great, first of all, so thanks for doing this with me again.
Yeah.
But just give me a quick fire off 3 names of tattoo artists that you'd love to get tattooed by.
Oof, man, we did this last time, and I got stumped because
Yeah.
there's just so many. There's like Korean artists that I don't even know their names, but I would love to get a piece from them.
I know, yeah.
I mean, Philip Liu is my number one. It's like an experience when you get tattooed by him.
Yeah.
You like stay at his house and like all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
Like his whole family's tattooers. It's like this big thing in Switzerland.
That's cool.
But Philip Liu, number one for sure. Justin Hartman, I would love for him to do my back piece. Would be amazing. Number 3, man. Lexi that works here. He's been talking about tattooing me, and I've been so excited about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, is like he's the Owl King.
He's the Owl King.
Lexi Tate, I think is how you pronounce his last name, which is wild. But his son works here too.
Yeah.
He apprenticed his son, and his son is killing it.
Crushing it.
Yeah, it's like who you know. It's like who teaches you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You progress so much faster. Like I was taught by someone in Riverside who I don't even think tattoos anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And
You think that slowed you down in the beginning?
I think so, man. Like, cause like back then I was thrilled to just be even a foot in the door.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm finally doing it. Working at Starbucks, 4 a.m. to noon, and then noon to 8 p.m. at the tattoo shop, like for 2 years.
Wow.
Every day. But that was my apprenticeship, and when I would go there, I was just so excited to be there. And now I look back at her work, and I'm like, it's not whatever. Like back then, maybe, but yeah, it wasn't that good. I mean,
so you're jealous of like someone that gets the opportunity to
learn from somebody amazing, man. Like I feel like I'd be leaps and bounds ahead of where I am now if I was taught the right way.
Yeah.
Like she gave me a foot in the door, and I'm grateful for it and all that stuff. We had a falling out or whatever, but I won't get into that.
Yeah, I know. No, it is. It's like I think every tattoo artist probably there's probably a few out there that are exceptions here, but most tattoo artists would say that they wish they had
Yeah, and not to say
more
like
information in the beginning.
not to say that some people like you taught yourself. You didn't have an apprenticeship, right?
Yeah, but I wish I did.
Yeah,
I wish I did have someone teaching me that was good. Like
Yeah,
that. You know
yeah.
what I mean? My whole thing, I was always so put off by apprenticeships because I thought that like there were so many people out there that were, one, like jerks, and
Yeah.
two, just like I didn't want to do tattoos like what they do.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So,
I didn't want to tattoo like her, but I was like, this is my only chance.
yeah,
And like back then, you had to get an apprenticeship. Like, there's no way you can get in.
right.
And it was such a hard. Like, I was knocking on doors. I was like, Steve at Laguna Tattoo. I was like, please, like, let me just come here and sweep the floor.
Yeah.
Like once a week, I'll come just to hang out.
Yeah,
And he was just always like, get out of here. Like he never cared. But we became friends on fucking Facebook.
yeah,
And he saw that I was like tattooing or learning to tattoo, and he was like, if you want to come down like every Sunday, you can try it. And that's how it happened. And I was like, oh my God, I'm there. So I drove from Riverside to Laguna Beach every Sunday.
that's crazy.
And yeah. So that was a big pivot in my life.
Well,
Wait, who would be your 3? Have you ever answered that?
Yeah, I have answered that, but I always edit it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
So because I can't really decide.
Dude,
I like to put the pressure on everyone
it's
else.
so hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to pick 3.
All right, cool. Thanks, Devin.
Hey, I love you.
Okay, signing off.
I didn't say it back.
Oh, sorry. I love you too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you're enjoying this podcast, please be sure to follow on social media and wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple or Google. You can find me on Instagram at jankyjake_tattoos, and this page is at the_fine_line__. So many underscores. If there's a specific artist that you'd like me to have on the show, please feel free to send me a message, and I'll see what I can do to get them on. Once again, my name is Jake Berry, and this is The Fine Line.